So let's say you're a freelancer and you're joining Upwork, you're excited to start winning work, but you're really struggling to get that first client. What do freelancers need to do first to start winning work?
The first thing to consider is figuring out what's the root of the issue. When I look at Upwork, I consider Upwork a sales funnel, essentially. You're trying to get as many prospects into the funnel, you're trying to minimize the amount of drop off at each stage, and then eventually you're hoping to close these prospects into paying clients. So there's indicators along this sales funnel that you can pay attention to try to understand, okay, where's the drop off? For example, let's say you send out your proposal and it's viewed by the client. So that could be an indicator that your proposal stood out from all the other freelancers. But then maybe something in your profile actually turned this potential client off because you never got a message from them. So there was some sort of like drop off in this in between gray zone. And so that's where you kind of have to think it through and figure out, where do I think I'm struggling? Where are my weaknesses? And then how can I strengthen each aspect of this sales funnel so that I can convert more prospects into paying clients?
Yeah, the tricky part about Upwork is that you never really know what is causing you not to win a certain project unless the client directly tells you. But most of the time, you submit a proposal and you either never hear back or you see that they opened it and they didn't hire you or even message you after they opened it. So, the only thing that you can do if you want to win work on Upwork is you have to have a 10 out of, you have to elevate your profile and your proposals as far as you possibly can before you can actually start winning work. So basically, you have to have the very best profile that you can create with the very best profile photo and the very best title and the very best description and the very best portfolio items. And then you have to submit the very best proposal that you can that has the least amount of fluff and is the most relevant to the job posting that you can. Because clients are never going to tell you, oh, I saw your profile photo and you looked kind of standoffish and I just got a weird vibe. So I didn't want to work with you. Or, oh, I saw that second item in your portfolio and it actually wasn't up to snuff in terms of the quality that I'm looking for. So that actually was what disqualified you. So you never actually know what is disqualifying you from winning a particular project. So your only solution is to create the most elevated, what we call high level Upwork profile that you possibly can create. Let's go through each one of those elements in terms of what defines a high level Upwork profile.
When we talk about creating a high level Upwork profile, we literally mean obsessing over each component of your Upwork profile. Think of your Upwork profile like a website, right? Everything on that website comes into play, and just the smallest little thing could turn off a potential prospect. So, the same fundamentals there apply to your Upwork profile. So, for example, your Upwork photo. I mean, that's one of the things that catches clients' eyes when they're scrolling through multiple freelancers. Is it a professional photo? Is it eye catching? Is it different? Does it showcase your professionalism as a freelancer? That's just one small component of your Upwork profile, but it's one of those first couple of elements that a client sees.
Yeah, I would go so far as to say that 99% of people on Upwork have a mid tier profile photo. And that's just not acceptable if you're trying to be a high level Upworker. If you want to win work, you need to have a 10 out of 10 profile photo, regardless of if you're just brand new to the platform or if you've been on there for a while. Everything needs to be as good as you can make it. We're going to keep hammering that into you guys. If it's not as good as you can possibly make it, it's not good enough. And you don't really have an excuse to say, oh, I'm not getting hired on Upwork because you haven't actually put in the work to elevate your profile as high as it can get elevated.
The next thing to consider is your actual portfolio section. I mean, this is huge. I would say the portfolio section, along with the reviews, are two sections that can really move the needle when it comes to having a prospect view your Upwork profile and then actually send you a message. So, making sure you have case studies, you have visuals, you have all of that dialed in your portfolio section so that a potential prospect sees that you are a professional. You've done this many, many times. You have the proof and the credibility to show for it. And so dialing in that section is so incredibly important.
Yeah, when it comes to the portfolio, I think most freelancers overvalue how good their work is. I think it's hard for us as freelancers to take a step back and objectively look at our own work from the eyes of someone that isn't ourselves and judge its value and judge its quality. So I think a lot of us as freelancers need to take a step back, get some feedback from people that aren't biased to us and who are willing to give us some honest feedback and really help us get an understanding of how high level is my portfolio? Is it a 9 out of 10 or is it more like a 6.5 out of 10 when I compare myself to other freelancers that I'm competing with? So your portfolio is most likely not as good as it could be. And when it comes to displaying individual pieces of work, you're probably not putting in as much work as you could to elevating the presentation of how you display your work either. So, are you uploading your videos in 1080p or are you uploading them in 4K? Why wouldn't you upload them in 4K if that was a higher quality bar? All of these things need to be thought about, and you need to really think hard about how you can bring your portfolio up to a 10 out of 10.
Like, yes, sometimes we can be biased. We think our Upwork profile is a 10 out of 10. We think it's amazing. Maybe we do pull in some friends and family and we ask their opinions. They are also biased to a certain extent. So, doing a little bit of competitor research just to see what other high level Upworkers are doing in terms of displaying their work on their portfolio, on their Upwork profile, that can be a very grounding exercise just to see like where you fall in comparison to your competitors and just getting inspiration. We're not talking about copying, but we're just getting a feel for the total presentation that your competitors are displaying on their Upwork profile and just taking small little bits of inspiration from their Upwork profiles.
And then one last note on the portfolio, you might have amazing 10 out of 10 items in your portfolio, but if that client saw another freelancer that had a piece of work that was closer in vision to what they want, then they're going to hire that person because they've already done a piece of work that's closer to what they're trying to have done than one of the items that you sent them in your portfolio. So there's the quality aspect of the portfolio, and there's also the relevance to what the client is trying to get created. So if you're losing out on a lot of these proposals, it could be because of the work samples are just not quite specific enough and relevant enough to what they're trying to have created. And maybe you need to go out there and create a sample piece that is more in line with with the jobs that you're trying to apply to.
That's something I've definitely noticed over the years with Upwork. It seems like a lot of clients are looking for very specific individuals with specific experience. So, as you're looking through these jobs, it might not even be worth it to apply to a job where you don't have experience in what they're looking for or the industry that they want experience in. You might as well save your connects, save your proposals for other projects that you 100% have exact work samples that they're looking for.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. The trend towards specialization. Specialization is the word of the modern economy. You can no longer send a generally relevant piece of work to potential clients. You have to have a piece of work that is damn near 90% what they're trying to create themselves, or at least very similar to what they're trying to create. And so obviously there's a million elements on the Upwork profile that you can tailor and elevate, from the title to your description to the portfolio, all the items. But here's another one that you need to think about. Do you have a profile video? And if you don't, what the hell are you doing? If you don't have a profile video in 2024 and you're trying to be a high level Upworker, you are seriously missing out because these profile videos are a massive tool when it comes to standing apart from your competition. Now, the reason they're a good tool to stand out is because creating high quality videos is not easy. Not everyone knows how to do it. You have to learn how to do the video, you have to learn how to have high quality audio, but it's hard for a reason, and because it's hard, that makes it harder for your competition to do, and if you can leverage it, it's gonna put you so much further ahead than your competition. So, if you don't have a high level profile video on your Upwork profile, you need to do that and you need to get on it, and we can teach you how to do that inside high level Upworkers if you're interested.
I'm still in shock. In 2024, there is so many freelancers that don't have profile videos. Like, honestly, it's probably like less than 5% of Upworkers on the platform that I have seen who actually have a profile video. So there's so much potential to stand out from your competition, to build trust with your clients so that when they come to you, they're already pre sold. They already want to work with you right off the bat. It's definitely worth the time and effort to set up, but you're going to reap the benefits and the rewards after it's up on your Upwork profile.
The other thing I'll say about that is that a lot of Upwork profiles do have a video that people have uploaded in there, and it might be like a demo reel of some kind, but it's not actually tailored to like a client viewing your profile on Upwork directly. And then there's also the idea that a profile video can hurt you. Like, let's be honest here. There are some of the videos that I see people upload onto their profile are like completely disqualifying when they're sitting in a dark room, they've got a blank wall right behind them, and the audio is terrible, and they're awkwardly trying to talk to the camera. Like, this tool can actually harm you if you do it wrong, but if you do it correctly, it's a massive boon, and we've seen the results ourselves.
And one of the biggest reasons that having a bad profile video can be a turnoff to a potential client is because they see that level of quality, they're immediately going to be turned off because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And the most successful freelancers on Upwork really understand this, and you can tell in their portfolios, in their Upwork profiles. Everything is 10 out of 10. So you have to make sure that anything on your profile is A plus, and it can't be anything lower than that.
Here's another way to get your first client on Upwork. Be more patient and be more selective with the jobs that you're applying to. If you don't have a huge, extensive freelancing history with all kinds of varied portfolio items, that means obviously, you need to be a specialist and you need to niche down and you need to be more patient and selective with the projects and the jobs that you're applying to. And what happens when you're more selective is that you actually take more time and you craft these proposals and you take more care in the way that you write these proposals so that they have more of an impact and you have higher odds of actually winning that project. So be selective, only apply to jobs that you're a perfect fit for, and you will have success. You will get that traction, but it might take some patience because you have to kind of snipe at the right opportunities. And then one last thing about that, since you're being selective and you're not wasting your connects on a million different job posts that you're not perfectly qualified for, when you do apply to a job, hopefully you're early and you can throw some connects on it to boost it. We do recommend boosting your proposals in the early phase of a job listing because then you'll definitely get your proposal seen as long as you're early to the game and you're not having to spend, $15 to get your proposal boosted. Get in there early, be selective, boost your proposal, and you'll have really good odds if you are well qualified for that job.
And this is honestly how you should operate in 2024. Like, gone are the days of just mass applying to 100 different Upwork jobs. Because it's a little bit more competitive, it's a little bit more saturated, especially in certain areas, you have to take this customization approach. That's how you're gonna have the most success. Yes, it might take a little bit more time. Yes, you might have less initial inquiries, but the ones that actually make it through your sales funnel, you're gonna land them as a client, and they're gonna be very happy clients. So you're going for quality over quantity. A huge hack that has helped me get my first couple of Upwork reviews on the platform is to bring current clients, even past clients, onto the Upwork platform. So this has worked exceptionally well for me. So the beauty of it is current clients, even past clients that you've worked with that love your work, they love working with you, they're so happy with the results that you've delivered. They're usually very likely open to working with you on Upwork. It's like you already have that relationship established. So they're more willing to work with you on Upwork, and you already know that they're very happy with your work. So it takes away the risk of working with a new client on Upwork. And it's a great way just to build up more reviews and more projects with the least amount of risk as possible.
Now, obviously, do not break Upwork's terms of service doing this. Bring on real world clients. Don't have your friend hire you or anything crazy like that. You need to have a real client hire you for a real project. Upwork does encourage you to bring your real world clients on Upwork. So that is an amazing way to start building job history and getting your first couple 5-star reviews. Now you are going to pay that 10% fee versus not having to pay that 10% fee in the real world. But I mean, come on, that investment is well worth it. And another thing to note is that your client is probably going to have to pay a fee on their end as well. So what I would do is just offer them a percent off just to cover for that fee that they have to pay to use Upwork.
And something that I've also done to minimize the frustration because these clients may or may not be familiar with the Upwork platform. I have literally outlined and created instructions for these clients to initiate the project on Upwork. So they're not confused. They don't end up selecting the wrong thing. And it just makes it really easy for them. So I've literally like added screenshots and links just showing them how to start a project on Upwork.
Okay, so that is how to get your first client on Upwork. Just to recap, the first thing you need to do is you need to elevate every single aspect from your profile to your proposals. Then, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you're specialized and you're not being a generalist. You need to be patient and selective with the jobs that you're applying to so you don't burn through all your connects and get completely demoralized and just quit using Upwork altogether. And then the last thing would be to bring real world clients on Upwork to start getting that traction even easier.
So, we have officially launched our course and coaching program called High Level Upworkers, and we have two beta testers, but we are looking for three more beta testers. So, if this is something you're interested in, if you want personalized coaching, you want access to our amazing course, please send us a DM on Instagram. And thank you, as always, for watching and listening to our podcast. Let us know if there's any specific topics that you're interested in learning more about, whether it's Upwork or even just freelancing in general. Please let us know, and we'll see you in the next one.